On my wedding night, I became a widow. One second, I was holding my husband's hand. The next, he was gone forever. They said it was an accident, but a week later, I learned the truth, and it changed everything. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 28 years old, and this is the story of how the happiest day of my life turned into my worst nightmare. The wedding hall glowed with soft golden lights. Music filled the air. Laughter echoed from every corner. Everyone was smiling, celebrating, alive in the moment, and in the center of it all, I stood in my white dress, holding his hand. Leon Archer. He looked at me like I was the only person in the world, like nothing else existed. "Are you happy?" he whispered gently. I smiled, my eyes already filling with tears. More than anything, we had fought so hard to reach this moment. Years of love, small arguments, big dreams, and now finally, we were here, together forever. Our families surrounded us, clapping, laughing, blessing us. My parents were emotional. His parents couldn't stop smiling. It felt perfect. Too perfect. After the ceremony, we stayed back with everyone. Photos, laughter, cake, moments I wish I could freeze forever. Leon never left my side, not even for a second. At one point, he leaned closer, his voice low and playful. "Let's go. I want you all to myself now." I laughed softly. "Already?" he smiled. "I've waited long enough." We said our goodbyes and finally left. It was late. The roads were quiet. City lights blurred past the window like a dream. I rested my head on his shoulder, feeling safe, complete. "Can you believe we're married?" I whispered. He kissed my forehead. "I believed it the day I met you." I closed my eyes, smiling. Everything felt calm. Everything felt right. And then a deafening horn, blinding headlights. And in the next second, everything shattered. A deafening horn, blinding headlights. And then impact. The world flipped in an instant. Glass exploded around us, like shards of ice. Metal screamed as it crushed inward. My body jerked forward violently, the force ripping the air from my lungs. I couldn't even scream. Everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, nothing made sense. Blurred lights, faint voices, a sharp, constant beeping sound. Somewhere, someone was crying. My body felt heavy, numb, broken. I tried to move, but the pain hit instantly, shooting through me like fire. "Don't move," a voice said firmly. I blinked slowly, trying to focus. A white ceiling, harsh hospital lights. I was alive. At something felt wrong, very wrong. My heart started racing. "Leon," I whispered weakly. No answer. I swallowed, forcing my voice louder. "Leon, where is he?" Silence. I turned my head slightly. My mother stood in the corner, crying. My father looked away, his jaw tight, his eyes avoiding mine. Fear crept in, cold and suffocating. "Where is my husband?" I asked again, my voice shaking now. Still no answer. Tears filled my eyes. "Please, tell me." My mother slowly walked toward me, her hands trembling as she grabbed mine. Her grip was tight, desperate, and in that moment I knew. Before she even spoke, I knew. Her voice broke as the words finally came out. "He didn't make it." Everything inside me stopped. "No," I whispered. My head shook weakly. "No, no, no. This isn't real." But it was. Leon was gone, just like that. On our wedding night. The tears came uncontrollably. My chest tightened, my breath uneven, my entire body shaking, but nothing. Nothing compared to the pain tearing through my heart. Days passed, then more days. But nothing changed. The hospital room became my prison. My body slowly healed, but inside, I was shattered beyond repair. Everywhere I looked, I saw him. His smile, his voice, his touch gone forever. People kept coming. Family, friends, relatives. They filled the room with soft voices and heavy sighs. Sympathy, pity, words that all sounded the same. It was an accident. Stay strong. Time will heal everything. But they were wrong. Time doesn't heal something like this. Because they didn't feel what I felt. They didn't lose their entire world in a single second. I nodded when they spoke. I forced weak smiles. But inside, I was empty. Completely broken. 1 week later, everything changed. The police came. Two officers stood at the foot of my bed, their faces serious, their presence heavy. "We've caught the truck driver," one of them said. My heart skipped. A strange mix of emotions rushed through me: anger, fear, something darker. "Finally," answers double quotes. "Why?" I asked immediately, my voice trembling. "Why did this happen?" The officer hesitated. Then he said something that made my chest tighten. "This might not be as simple as it looks." I frowned. "What do you mean?" But he didn't answer directly. "Just be ready," he said quietly. "We'll update you soon." And then they left. But their words stayed, echoing in my mind. Not as simple as it looks. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it again: the headlights, the crash, Leon's face. I clenched my fists, my nails digging into my palms. "I need to know," I whispered into the darkness. "I need the truth." The next day, the police returned. This time, their expressions were even more serious. "The driver is in custody," one of them said. "We're questioning him." My heart started pounding faster. "Can I see him?" I asked. They exchanged a quick glance. "Not yet," the other officer replied. "He's not cooperating." Something inside me snapped. Not cooperating. My voice shook with anger now. "Because of him, my husband is dead. Because of him, my life is destroyed, and he's not even talking." The officer sighed. "We're trying, but he's stubborn." That night, I didn't even try to sleep, because now, it wasn't just grief anymore. It was something else, something deeper, something darker, the need for truth, and I wasn't going to stop until I got it. The next morning, everything changed. The police called my father and Leon's father. "He's ready to talk." Those 4 words were enough. I was still weak. My body hadn't fully healed, but I didn't care. "I'm going," I insisted. They brought me in a wheelchair. The police station felt cold, heavy, like the walls themselves were hiding something. Every second we moved closer to that room, my heart beat faster, louder, until it was the only thing I could hear. They opened the door, and I saw him, the truck driver. He sat on a metal chair under a harsh white light. His face was bruised, lips split, arms marked with fresh wounds. He looked like he had been beaten badly. 2 officers stood behind him, silent, watching, waiting, but when his eyes met mine, something felt wrong. There was no guilt, no regret, only fear. "Start talking," one officer said coldly. The man stayed silent. Another officer stepped forward, grabbing his collar violently. "Because of you, an innocent man is dead," he shouted. "Speak." The driver winced in pain. I already told you." "Then say it again," the officer snapped. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. I couldn't look away. I needed to hear it, needed to understand. Finally, he spoke, but what he said changed everything. "Not just a driver," he muttered. The room went silent. Every single person froze. Leon's father stepped forward slowly, his eyes sharp. "What does that mean?" he asked, his voice low, controlled. The man swallowed hard. "I do jobs for money." A chill ran down my spine. "What kind of jobs?" Leon's father pressed. The man hesitated, then said it. "I kill people." The words hit like a bullet. My breath stopped. The room felt like it collapsed around me. Leon's father's expression hardened instantly. His voice dropped, cold and deadly. "Are you saying this was planned?" The man nodded weakly. "Yes." Tears filled my eyes. "No," I whispered. "No, this can't be. I was given instructions, he continued. The car, the route, the timing. Each word felt like a knife digging deeper. This wasn't random. This wasn't an accident. This was planned, carefully, coldly, and suddenly a terrifying thought took over my mind. If this was planned, then someone out there wanted me dead. The room fell into a heavy, suffocating silence. No one moved, no one spoke. It felt like the air itself had turned cold. The officer stepped forward, his voice sharp now. Who hired you? All eyes locked onto the man. Tell us the name. The driver hesitated, then slowly shook his head. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? The officer snapped. I never met them, the man said. Quickly, his voice shaky. It doesn't work like that. Leon's father stepped closer, his presence intense. Then explain. The man took a deep breath. There's always someone in between, he said. A contractor. They contact me. Give the details. Handle the money. So you never see the real person? My father asked. The man shook his head. Never. My mind started spinning. Someone planned this. Someone wanted this. Who is the contractor? The officer demanded. I only had a number, the man replied. That's it. Where is he now? I don't know, he said quickly. He disappeared after the job. The officers exchanged a look. They had already tried tracing it. Nothing, no identity, no location, like the man never even existed. Silence filled the room again, but this time, it felt darker, heavier, more dangerous. One thing was clear now, this wasn't an accident. It was planned, and whoever did this was still out there. My chest tightened, my hands turned cold. If someone had planned this, then it wasn't just about Leon, it was about me. I looked at my father, then at Leon's father. Both of them looked just as shaken, just as lost. The officer finally spoke. We'll keep investigating. We won't stop until we find who's behind this. My father nodded slowly. We'll find them. Leon's father's voice was colder, stronger, no matter what it takes. But as I sat there, one thought kept repeating in my mind, over and over again. This wasn't random. This wasn't a mistake. Someone wanted me dead, and the worst part, a quiet, terrifying feeling deep inside me whispered something I didn't want to believe. What if it was someone close to me? Days passed after that, but nothing felt normal anymore. Every breath felt heavy, like I was carrying something invisible, something dark, because now I knew the truth. This wasn't an accident. Someone had planned it. Someone wanted me dead. The police kept investigating. They tried everything, tracing the number, digging through records, following every possible lead. But it was like chasing a ghost. The contractor had vanished. No name, no face, no trace. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, the case began to lose momentum. Leads dried up. Answers faded. Hopes started slipping away. But one person didn't stop. Leon's father. He wasn't just grieving. He was determined, powerful, a man with connections, and the kind of influence that opened doors others couldn't. I will find out who did this, he said one day, his voice calm but unshakable. No matter what it takes. And this time it didn't sound like a promise. It sounded like a warning. He started making calls, meeting people, using contacts no one talked about openly. Private investigators, old allies, people who knew how to find things buried deep, things the police couldn't, or WOULD and Thiggle. Days later he called everyone to the house, my parents, his family, close relatives, even my sister the moment I walked in. I felt it. The air was different, too quiet, too still, like the walls were holding their breath. No one was talking, no one dared to. I sat down slowly, my hands clenched tightly in my lap. My heart was already racing. Something was wrong, something big, and deep down I knew this moment was going to change everything. Then the door opened. Leon's father walked in, His face was unreadable, cold, controlled. He looked around the room, at every single person, one by one, and then he said it. I found him. The words hit like thunder. My breath caught in my throat. The contractor? I asked, barely able to speak. He nodded, double quotes. Yes. The room leaned into silence, everyone waiting, everyone afraid. Then he spoke, again, slowly, carefully, double quotes the person who gave the order. He paused, and in that pause, the entire room seemed to stop breathing. Is in this room. The words hit like a shockwave. Is in this room. For a second, no one reacted. Then suddenly, everyone started looking around, confused, nervous, afraid. My heart pounded so loudly, I could hear it in my ears. No, I whispered under my breath. This can't be real. Leon's father stepped forward slowly. They traced everything, he said, his voice calm but heavy. The calls, the money, the connections. He paused, scanning every face again. There is no doubt. The room felt like it was closing in, tighter, colder, harder to breathe. And then, he turned his head. His eyes stopped on someone, my sister. Everything inside me froze for a moment. The world went completely silent. No movement, no sound, nothing. Then, my mother gasped sharply. No. All eyes turned toward her. My sister stood there, still, expression stiff. No, this is a lie, she said quickly. You're blaming me for no reason. Enough, Leon's father cut in, his voice cold as ice. You think I would say this without proof? My father stepped forward, anger and confusion mixing on his face. What is going on? He shouted. Leon's father didn't even look at him. His eyes stayed locked on her. Say it. Silence. Long, heavy, suffocating. Silence. My heart felt like it was about to explode. Then she smiled, a small, cold, chilling smile. Yes, she said. I did it. The room erupted. My mother rushed forward, her hand raised slap. How could you? She cried. She's your sister. My father was shaking now, his voice breaking with anger. I raised you better than this. What is wrong with you? But she didn't cry, didn't flinch, didn't even react. She just stood there and looked at me, and in her eyes there was something dark, something broken. You really don't know, she said quietly. Tears streamed down my face. Know what? I whispered. Her gaze hardened. Since childhood, it was always you. Each word felt like a blade. You were the favorite. Everyone loved you more. My chest tightened, my hands trembled. You had everything, she continued. Good grades, good friends, a perfect life. She let out a bitter laugh. And me. Her eyes burned with something I had never seen before. I was invisible. Was invisible. Her voice echoed in the silence. No one spoke, no one moved. It felt like the entire world had stopped, just to hear her. No one saw me, she continued, her tone cold, almost empty. No one cared. Tears streamed down my face, but I couldn't look away. This wasn't the sister I knew. Or maybe it was the real her all along. You got everything so easily, she said, her eyes locked onto mine. Love, attention, a perfect life. My breath shook. That's not true. But even as I said it, my voice sounded weak, uncertain. She let out a quiet, bitter laugh. And then, you got him. Her expression shifted slightly. Leon, his name felt like a knife twisting in my chest. The perfect husband, she continued. Rich, kind, loving. Her voice cracked just for a second. Then it hardened again. And what did I have? Silence. Nothing. She took a step closer. The air grew heavier. Colder. So I decided. She said slowly. My heart stopped. If I can't have that life. Her eyes burned into mine. Then neither can you. My legs felt weak. So, you plan to kill me, I whispered. Her face didn't change. I planned to take everything from you. My vision blurred with tears. I wanted both of you gone, she said. You and him. Those words shattered whatever was left inside me. Leon's father stepped forward, his presence terrifyingly calm. Because of you, my son is dead, he said quietly. His voice wasn't loud, but it carried weight. Danger. I will never forgive you. He moved closer, standing right in front of her. And I promise you, his voice dropped lower, you will remember this for the rest of your life. For the first time, her expression changed. Fear, real fear. Moments later, the police arrived. The sound of footsteps, the click of handcuffs. They walked straight to her. She didn't resist, didn't fight, didn't even speak. As they took her away, I just stood there, crying, broken, empty. Because in that moment, I didn't just lose my husband, I lost my sister too. Days later, the court gave its final decision. Life imprisonment? That was it. No long speeches. No dramatic ending. Just a sentence. A punishment that was supposed to be called justice. But nothing felt right. Nothing felt complete. Because no matter what the court decided, Leon was still gone forever. The house felt quieter after everything too. Quiet like something had been ripped out of it. And nothing could ever fill that space again. People stopped visiting. The calls slowly faded. Life moved on for everyone else. But not for me. I was still stuck in that night. That moment, that crash. Sometimes I still hear it. That horn, those headlights. The sound of everything breaking, and then silence. I lost my husband on my wedding night. But that wasn't all. I lost my family too, because the person who destroyed my life was my own sister. The same person I grew up with, laughed with, trusted. And the truth. It haunts me more than the accident ever could. Because accidents are random. They don't have meaning. They don't have intention. But this was planned. Carefully, coldly, by someone who knew me. Someone who hated me enough to take everything away. Sometimes I ask myself, did I ever really know her? Or was she hiding this darkness all along? People say time heals everything. But they're wrong. Some wounds don't heal. They just become a part of you. A silent pain you carry every single day. And me, I'm still learning how to live with the truth that the worst betrayal in my life didn't come from a stranger. It came from my own blood.